All right, sweet, sweet. Let me share my screen. All right, let me know if you guys can see, and I'll be reading out loud. You don't gotta you don't gotta follow along. I'll read out loud, and then if there's, I'll create times for questions after each segment. All right. So, you guys are the first three. I don't want to say the first three clients we had, but you're the first three clients that really wanted to make extra money, needed the extra money, as well as you seem like the most motivated that's actually going to listen, follow through, and, get the work done. So we extended this offer to you guys so that, we can help you further improve as a man. You guys are all pretty young. I'm young too. Um, I think we're all around the same age. But yeah, man, I do want to say I don't want to just say thank you for joining the program. I know you guys believe in yourselves, right? And I know you guys each believe that you deserve more, right? So like I'm excited to have you here and to help you become a growth specialist and truly master outbound prospecting and appointment setting, without needing to go through any like other courses, programs, and stuff like that, right? So my story with this, you know, I'm gonna show you a brief presentation I made for YouTube, but I won't go through it entirely because it's not complete yet. But basically, I'm gonna be showing you guys how you can make 5 to 10K a month, as an appointment setter, as a growth specialist, right? That's really the goal. Now, of course, long term, you can make way more than that, right? This is just starting out. First, you gotta oh, hold up. It says Zoom quit. All right. Is it sharing the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it
Mhm.
told me Zoom quit. Um,
Yeah, it lost connection.
Oh, he's
yeah.
come back.
All right. It's good now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear
All right, sweet. I don't know what happened just now. Um,
you.
yeah, it said Zoom quit on me. All right, let me share it again. All right, let me know if you can see, and then I'll continue. You can see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, bet. All right, so basically, you already heard it, you already read it. 5 to 10K as an appointment setter, and all right, it's gonna keep doing this shit. All right.
Man, Zoom bugging on God.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I'm back. Um, I don't know why this shit keeps quitting. Let me see if I can um because I want to share my screen, but I think it's because I'm presenting I won't present it. Let me try it this way one more time. All right. Let me know if you guys can see.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
All right, I'm gonna try to keep it like that. I don't want to hit present. All right. So yeah, next slide. It just tells a little bit of about my story and where we're heading. Um, if for the people that don't know who I am. So like what I'm about to share, right? It's not really magical stuff. It's basically my personal transformation, right? Where I came from that got me here, right? Like these pictures right here, you don't have to read if you could read it if you want, but these are pictures of me literally doing Instacart, driving around, doing delivery driving, doing all that stuff. Um, this is me working at Wawa. This is me working in like an ice cream stand. So these are literally all jobs that I've been doing, side hustling, like way in the past, right? Just trying to make extra money. Like I always understood how to make money online, but making like really, really huge sums of money was hard for me, right? Like I was making what 800 a week, 600 a week from Grubhub. I was getting like, payments here and there from like one-off clients and stuff like that. And then right here is like my grades, right? So I graduated high school, but I almost didn't graduate, right? Because I wanted to focus full time on business, right? Like I don't know if it's gonna let me zoom in. But you could probably see this, maybe not. But like these are like my last semester of high school. It was terrible, right? It's like F's, D's, but I still graduated. And then I went to college for like 2 weeks and I dropped out because I was like, nah, this is not for me, right? Because I only went because my parents wanted me to. So I've had like super deep moments, right? Like my bank account's been in the negatives, right? This is me in the gym, like literally depressed, couldn't even like finish my workouts. Now, like, why do I have the picture? I just told my friend, bro, take a picture of me because I know like this is just a moment, right? It's just a period, right? And then this is like this time last year, like DoorDash got suspended, Grubhub got suspended because I was being late to like deliveries and shit, right? Because I was doing both at the same time, trying to make more money. And then right here, it's like really, really bad moments. Car crash. This one was pretty recent, but I just wanted to add it there. My tires like blowing up because I was driving all the time. My brake pads going bad. And it's just like my girl took this picture, but in my mind, it was a bad, like to her, she didn't know it was a bad moment, right? But for me in my head, I'm just thinking about, damn, I need money, I need money, I need money. Now, this is really when the transformation started to happen, right? This lady is one of my coaches, right? She became a millionaire by the age of 21. She's like 35 now, but she became a millionaire by the age of 21, right? And then I started working with her. I think she charged me 4,500 to start working with her, right? So I hustled my ass off to get that money, but she also gave me a payment plan to like pay it off. But I told her I wanted to start a business, I wanted to succeed, right? And I've been spending a lot of money, right, that I've been making trying to succeed. And she's told me, look, you don't need to start a business. Like you can start a business and succeed with it, but first master a skill and then make some money, right? Make some money, use that money to leverage and grow an actual business, right? And so this is the other side, right? After listening to her, taking the advice, like this is me going on trips. This is me, like improving at the gym. This is me when she first invited me out to like I think her daughter's birthday party, right? So these are like places I've never been to, right? Mind you, she owns like 15 different businesses, and I'm like 19, 20 years old kid at the time. I'm just like, damn, okay, these aren't my cars. They're just car shows that I've been to. I wanted to take pictures, but it's like they're high quality car shows. Some are free, but this is me and my girl right here. This is me, just flexing. Got a new suit and everything. Um, and then some more, like more events, more places, um, actual celebrities, right? This lady right here in the yellow, she's won like 3 Emmys. This is me speaking on a stage and just genuinely getting coached and surrounded by millionaires, right? It seems like, damn, really? That's crazy. But this was me like literally last year. I'm just like, damn, like my life is changing and I'm only 20 years old, 19 years old, And then right here, let me see if I can show you guys, literally, this is some of the clients that have gotten results. This is one guy I was working with back in April. Dude was like younger than me, but making way more money than me. But he wanted to make a transition. So for him, I was really helping him with his business. But dude was doing over like 600 something as a sales rep for another company, right? Now he has his own business and he's on track for I think like 80K by February, right? And I worked with him back in April, and now we're kind of like not business partners, but we're really just helping each other back and forth with each of our businesses. It's me and my girl, and this is one of our clients. He didn't want this opportunity, but I just wanted to include him here because that's for the YouTube video. So back to this, right? What I'm really going to help you guys with is to become a growth specialist and appointment setter that my coach that she helped me become in order to start to change my life and take my life into the direction that I wanted to take it into, right? So first, it's lead generation, right? Lead generation, it's the process of generating leads for yourself or your clients, right? Every business, needs leads, right? Leads are the people who are interested in a business that want to purchase a product or a service, right? But they haven't heard of the business that they want to purchase. Like, say I'm selling you something, but you haven't heard of me, right? So you're the lead, and I want to sell you my product, my service, but you haven't heard of me yet, right? So the process of lead generation is getting your attention and then getting my product, my services in front of you, right? Kind of like how I reached out to you, each of you, right? Or you reached out to me. We had a little bit of conversation. I told you about my program, and then we hopped on a call, and then you guys joined the program, right? That's lead generation. I generated a lead for my business, right? So appointment setting. appointment setting is the process of basically you're setting in-person appointments, you're setting phone call appointments or Zoom and video call appointments for yourself, right? If you have your own business, or for the client that you're working for, right? And you can use various methods to do this, right? There's outbound prospecting through social media, DMs, right? Direct messaging, there's cold calling, and there's other marketing methods, right? And then, outbound prospecting and messaging is basically you're reaching out to prospects on social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. Right? And prospects are the people who can become potential clients, right? In other words, leads, right? And then the last skill to tie all these together is cold calling, right? Cold calling is when you call leads who have no idea who you are and you aim to get them to buy products or services by getting them to schedule a demo call / appointment with you or with the business you're working for. So this is the first section. Is there any questions right now?
No, not for me.
Nah, man.
No.
All right, sweet. And this is going to be inside of the Discord. It's going to be in the resources, so you can overlook it. All right, so that's basically the basic understanding, right? So next, this is how to do it, basically, right? I'm going to go over exactly how to do it, and then we're going to work over the skills over the next couple of weeks, days, and then eventually get you guys placed and start working and get you a job. All right, so outbound prospecting and appointment setting, right? The goal with appointment setting is to spark curiosity and leave a positive impression on someone who doesn't know you, but at the same time, they're agreeing to let you pitch them. And this is why we ask them the question, would you like to hear about it? Instead of forcing down, what you or your employer does, unsolicited, right? And then basically where, right? Just like in real estate, location or being able to locate the prospect is the most important thing, right? So there's no point in trying to target or launch an outbound prospecting campaign, which means like sending a bunch of messages to a bunch of random people, on a channel where, you spend 80% of your time trying to locate the ideal prospect to reach out to, right? So it's important for you to ask yourself what channel is the most effective when it comes to finding, XYZ niche. And a niche is basically like, oh, I'm in the relationship space, I'm in the business space, I'm in the fitness space, I'm in the fitness for entrepreneurs, I'm in the fitness for really busy people. That's what a niche is. It's basically an ideal group of people that you want to work with, that you want to speak to, and that your business that you're partnered with wants to reach out to, right? So you want to find what's the best place that I can reach out to the people that this business wants to work with, right? So if you're working with a fitness coach, where can you find most of his clients? Probably Facebook, probably Instagram. Okay, cool. Now let's continue, right? So to go back to let me find with myself. Yeah, so I just went over this. All right, cool. So next is qualification, right? You find the prospects, right? Maybe you go on a huge influencer's profile and you reach out to his followers, right? The people that are following. So if say you're working for someone in the fitness space and he wants to get clients that are interested in fitness, that are willing to pay him what he's charging, right? Your job is to, okay, let's say you go to an influencer, he's in the fitness space, but maybe everybody following him isn't a client of his, right? So now you're reaching out to everyone, or the people that you feel is the type of prospects that would work with the business you're partnered with, right? But you got to qualify them, right? So these are some of the ways to qualify these people. And of course, the business that you're working with is going to have qualifications of themselves that they're looking for, right? So it's good to be on the same page with the business that you're partnered with so that you're getting results for them. And it's making sense that the people you're bringing him or them or her, whatever, is actually paying, right? So when you find a prospect, always ask yourself if the stuff you see on their profile makes them a qualified prospect for the business that you're working for, right? Essentially, you need to use whatever information you can get from the prospect's profile to establish if they are someone who can make sense of paying what your employer is charging for their solutions, right? So this information could be, where are they from, right? Are they in a country that can actually afford to pay for your business partner or employer's services, right? How long have they had a job, right? If they have a job at all, how long have they had that job? Okay, they had it for 2, 3 years. That means they could probably afford some expensive program that's like 10, 20K, right? Or, or maybe they're a business owner, right? Do they look old enough, right? Is it mentioned anywhere on their profile, right? This is all based on what your client, which is the person paying you, is looking for, right? And of course, if you're doing this for yourself to get clients for yourself, these are the same rules you want to follow to get yourself clients that are willing to pay you to get them clients, right? So another good question that you want to ask yourself, okay, does this person even showcase the fact that they have a car or a job or a business, right? So you should only spend like 5 seconds on this step since it's not as important, right? The reason this step exists is for you not to waste time on non-qualified prospects who can't afford your employer's solutions. So is there any questions on the qualification?
Nah, for me.
George?
Scroll up.
Yeah,
Can you scroll up for me? Thank you. Just let me read.
yeah.
So what, when you were looking for qualifications of people, like what was one key thing you found in people?
So for me, for my business, it was okay, are they men? Do they look
Mm-hmm.
like they would need my services, or do they look like they would want my services? Right.
Okay.
And then, but because of the way I built my business, I've also had people reaching out to me, right? Like Anwar, I think he reached out to me, and Rosner, I think, also reached out to me because they saw my TikTok content. They reached out on Instagram, right? But
Mm-hmm.
even though they reached out to me, I still had to, I looked at their profile and I also asked questions that showed me whether or not they actually wanted my services, they actually wanted my help, right? Same process
Mm-hmm.
for you. I had to make sure that one, okay, I'm asking you the questions that are going to show whether or not you actually want to work with me, you actually want my services, right? Instead of me just being like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man, join my program, And then um yeah, so any other questions around that?
Nah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Sweet, sweet. So next, once you've qualified them just a little bit, you want to engage with them and generate you want to engage and generate responses at scale, right? So you need to start conversations at scale and make sure that you're not spending a whole hour trying to figure out what your first message should be. So you want to have like a general message that you're sending to the people you're sending messages to, right? So if you find 50 people on a influencer's profile, like maybe they have 1 million followers, and you find you want to reach out to at least 50 per day or 100 per day. All right, what message would make sense to the business or for you, right? So if you're an appointment setter and you're trying to get clients, now you're looking at the people that would actually be needing appointment setters that are actually willing to pay you. And then you reach out to them with a specific message, right? And that message could be, hey, I'm an appointment setter and I've set, I work with XYZ and I would like to see if you are in need of my services, right? Something like that, generic. And then you send that same message to at least 50 people that you think would be willing to pay you, right? Now, if they reply, they reply. If they don't reply, they don't reply. It's a numbers game, right? And you want to make sure you're reaching out to the right people. So yeah, and most people don't understand the importance of volume, and that's why they typically go out of business. So if you're working with someone and they're telling you to send like 10, 20, 30 messages a day, they're probably not going to make a lot of money over time. But if you're sending 100 messages per day, you're over delivering, right? So on their end, that's a good thing. And if you tell them like, look, man, like we got to pump these numbers up, help me reach out to more people for you, right? So you want to collaborate with the businesses that you're working with so that you're actually helping them make money so that they can actually pay you what you're asking for, right? So, you know, if you're say you're sending messages and you're not getting more than 10% of people to respond, it's typically because your message is wrong. You're on the wrong platform. Basically, say you're trying to reach out to young people, but you're using LinkedIn, right? You're not going to find a lot of young people on LinkedIn, right? Or if you're on Facebook and you're trying to reach out to fitness people, but you're in the you're in the, let's say, a chef's cooking space, right? You're in a chef's Facebook group. So you're not really going to find the person you want to reach out to because you're in the wrong group, right? You're in the wrong area. You're in the wrong platform, right? And then again, another huge thing that could make people not want to reply to you is the profile that you're using is really bad. So previous guys that I've taught this, they created second Instagram profiles because one, like me, I use mine for everything. I don't need a second one. But if you want to separate your business versus your personal, you can totally do that, right? Tomorrow I'm gonna that part two is me showing you guys how to set up your profiles, how to get hired and stuff like that. So that's going to be tomorrow. But typically you can you can create a different Instagram profile, and then, I'll teach you how to set it up so that people are willing to reply to you and actually are more prone to trust you and then work with you, right? So an average prospector, which is basically you, will do 50 per day, right? If you're doing 50 per day, you're going to get results for your client as long as you get better at this skill, right? And of course, you improve over time based on how many conversations you're having, right? A superstar is going to do 100 or more, right? If you're using Instagram, Facebook, you're using two platforms at the same time, you're going to do more. If you're using three platforms at the same time, you're going to do even more than 100 per day, right? That's going to bring a lot. That's a lot of business for your client, and that's a lot of money for them. And of course, you can negotiate more pay. You're like, hey man, look, I've been working for you for 2 months now. I'm not saying I don't like the pay, but I want to earn more. They're gonna be more than happy to pay you because you're getting them results, right? So your goal is to, contact at least 50 new leads every day and expect, to get around 5 to 10 new conversations per day that you can hopefully convert into a meeting. If you're not getting 5 to 10 people responding and talking with you every day, you shouldn't expect to get anyone on a meeting, right? You want at least 5 to 10 people responding to your initial message, right? And when they reply, you want to create trust as soon as possible and move the prospect from their, reptilian brain to their rational brain, right? So if you want someone to pay attention to you and to trust you enough to understand that you can actually help them, you need to make sure that they are in the right state of mind, right? So a lot of people don't understand this, and that's why they can't do their outreach. That's why their outreach don't work, even if their lives were on the line, right? Because there's three levels to the brain: reptilian, limbic, and neocortex, right? So the first one, instinctual, and it's like the sole purpose of that part of your brain is to keep you away from danger, right? It's like your senses, right? It's helping keep you away from danger, right? Then there's emotional and feeling, right? That's the driver of most of our behaviors. And then this is the rational thinking and the logic, right? So you want to get people from here to here, right? You want to change their way of thinking before you do anything else, right? So the number one thing that needs to happen before a stranger can respond to your DM or even do business with you is that they need to feel like they can trust you, right? So most people you may work with are stuck sending 10,000 emails, DMs, and cold calls, but they never build assets or leverage mechanisms that can make strangers trust their business before they even respond, right? So if you are about to reach out to someone, but they don't have any piece of content, depending if it's like a small business or an online business, typically an online business is going to have content. If they don't have quality content, quality information, they're probably not someone that's willing to pay you or has the money to pay you, right? Because someone like for me, for example, I have lots of content out. Because of my content, people trust me. And because of that trust, they're willing to do business with me. Does that make sense?
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Sweet, sweet.
Yeah.
So, so an example, right? So look at these two situations and realize how big of a difference it makes, having common ground, social context and trust versus not having it, right? So scenario one, in 2019, Duno calls your phone number to try to sell you Prime Potential Academy, right? So that's the first scenario. Scenario two, in 2022, your best friend of 10 years learns about your money and dating issues, and he sends you a link to a 20-minute virtual sales letter, or it's a video trying to sell you on something of Duno, and Duno ends up messaging you trying to get you on a call to sell you the program. Who are you going to trust more?
Mm.
Two.
Exactly. So the information from these two situations will be processed differently, at certain levels of the brain, will be prioritized, right? So when doing outreach, we need to create the second situation more frequently than the first one. So how can we create social context, as soon as possible and make the prospect trust us? Number one, it's content and post, right? Typically, a business owner that you're partnered with, or you yourself, if you're creating your own business out of this, right, in the future, you want to have content and post that show that you know what you're talking about. You know, you can actually help someone, right? Even if it's like, look at the biggest brands, right? Like Nike, Apple, they have constant content coming out, right? Now the content isn't necessarily them trying to sell you something. The content is to get you to see who they are, see who they help, see what they do. And initially from that, you're going to be like, damn, that's a quality phone. That's a quality pair of shoe. That's a quality shirt. I want it, right? Because why? They have content out there constantly putting this information in your face, getting you to actually want what they're showing you, right? Because if you've never heard of Nike, if you've never seen any piece of their content, but somebody comes up to you and be like, yo, you want to buy this Nike shirt? You're probably going to be like, what's Nike? Who's Nike? But because you've seen so much Nike and so much Apple, when you see their logo, you're like, damn, okay, that's Apple, that's Nike, I want it, right? Typically. And then, scenario B, if possible, like get people. So say you're working with a business owner, get people to engage with a piece of content made by the business owner you're working with and use that engagement as a reference point. If somebody liked the video, hey man, you reach out, dude, thank you for liking this post. Typically, you're going to be working from the business owner's profile. Sometimes they will want you to use your own profile, but typically you're going to get better results when you're working from their profile, right? And you're let me find myself. Yeah. So if they like a post on your business partner's profile, hey, thank you for liking this post. What made you like it? Right? It's something really generic, but because they like the post or because they follow the creator, you reach out to them, and then basically you start a conversation, and initially you want to turn that conversation into a booked meeting, right? Once it's booked, your job is done, right? Unless the business owner wants you to do more, right? And then you want to create familiarity by bringing up, like, another way to create trust is creating familiarity by bringing up something from their profile, right? This can be pretty straightforward. Find something that isn't too basic and mention it in your first touch point. Dude, I love, like, say you see that they fish, right? They caught a big fish, and like, dude, how did you catch that fish, right? You're just starting the conversation, right? The initial goal is to start the conversation, right? So, and I just gave you an example, but another example is back in COVID, like Australia was shut down. So something you could have said was like, damn, dude, I see you're from Australia, right? Say it's mentioned in their bio. Be like, dude, many places aren't open right now. Has that affected you going out? Now they feel like they should reply to you, unless they don't want to reply to you. But if they reply to you, that's a good way for you to lead that conversation into a booked call. And then that booked call, the business, if they close them, like say it's a $2,000 client, $5,000 client, $10,000 client, they're gonna pay you whatever you're asking. If you're saying, look, man, every meeting I book, I want $100. If they agree and you're booking meetings consistently, they have to pay you, right? I'm also going to show you guys how to create contracts, they're not long contracts, they're just basic contracts that you can just sign, they sign, and then now if they don't pay you, you can take it to, police, whatever, so that they pay you, you know? So the goal with this one is to, you want to make the prospect feel like you're someone who relates to them and who understands them, right? So that's why it's good to have a good profile. And if you're working with someone and you're working from their profile, actively look for how you can help improve their profile, right? So make sure you or the profile you're working from has a nice, friendly, professional picture, right? Hold up. All right. Make sure that you or they have some video content for the prospects to consume, right? Having engagement on a profile or on your profile or theirs is great too, right? It creates social proof. If they see that the page you're using has likes, has follows, people trust pages that have likes, that have followers, even if someone paid for that, right? Typically, you're not going to say, they paid for that. if they have like 1 million followers. But sometimes you can tell if someone paid for likes, if they paid for followers, right? Qualification number two, this is where you start to look for problems that they're facing, right? You find inefficiencies in the current way they're doing things, right? So say like for me, for example, when I reached out to some of you guys, I was looking for what you actually needed help with, right? Whether it was confidence, whether it was girls, whether it was making money, right? Things like that. I'm looking for problems that you are potentially facing that you possibly want help with, right? I'm not putting it in your face. I'm just asking a simple question, right? You don't want to sell or book a meeting with someone who doesn't have a problem to solve or a gap that needs to be bridged, right? So in order to find inefficiencies, you need to know the right questions to ask the prospect so they can tell you what you need to be able to know so that you can sell them on getting on a call, right? So an important fact is that it's still a conversation to ask one question at a time, right? So make sure to treat it like a don't treat it like it's a call, right? You want to text like a normal person, like you text your friend, right? One line of message at a time, basically, right? You want to keep it as if you're just a casual person and you're having a casual conversation, but you're still in charge of the conversation and you're leading the conversation to where you want it to go, right? It's kind of like talking to a girl. You're leading, but she believes she's leading. You're asking the questions you want to ask to get her to give you the answers that you want to hear from her, right? That's basically the goal of these conversations. It's the same process, right? So an example of here are some examples of inefficiencies to look for, and some questions that you can ask to get these to pop up, whether it's business to business or business to client, right? So before I get into that, is there any questions on the part I just went over?
No.
No, you're good. I'm just
Right.
gonna quickly go to the toilet. I'll keep my headphones on, all right?
All right, bet. And then, all right, so let's get right into some of the questions, right? So an example, and then I'll give you the questions, right? So agencies, coaches, or consultants, these are typically the people that you want to work with because these are typically the people that are willing to pay for appointment setters, that need appointment setters, and that are willing to pay what you're asking, right? If it's 1,000 a month, 2,000 a month, 3,000 a month, right? What you feel confident charging based on the results that you think you can get, they're going to be willing to pay you, right? So, you know, typically it's any agency's coach or consultant that's relying on these two channels alone is lacking efficiency and effectiveness, right? If they're only relying on traditional channels like email, if they're relying on LinkedIn, they're not using Instagram, they're not using Facebook, they're not using Twitter, platforms where you can easily talk to people and see who wants to pay you for stuff. If you're not if they're not using these channels, they're basically being inefficient, right? So some questions that you can ask is like, hey man, like I see that you're a business owner, I see that you're helping X, Y, and Z do X, Y, and Z. What's the average, closing rate for the meetings you're booking with your current system, right? Are you still doing outreach yourself, or do you have it automated / delegated to someone else? How many meetings are you generating on an average per month, right? Are you looking for more meetings every month to grow your business? How predictable is booking meetings through your current channel, right? How qualified are the people you're getting on the phone, right? These are questions you typically want to ask when you're trying to see if someone, especially when you're an appointment setter trying to get a client, you're trying to see if they need you, right? And these are some of the questions that are good to ask when you're on that interview call with someone who's willing to hire you. Yeah, man, like how many meetings are you currently generating per month? You want to get these numbers down so that you can see, okay, this is what they're currently doing, this is what I can help them do, and this is how I'm going to help them do it, right? And under each question is typically a reason why this is an important question to ask, right? So let's say someone who hasn't delegated it, right? They're doing it all by themselves, right? So this is a problem because the number of meetings that they're booking, like it's probably not going to be as high as it could be because one, they're booking meetings by themselves. They're also fulfilling clients. They're also creating content. They're also doing all these things. So the amount of time that they have to book meetings for themselves is a problem. So if you can come in and say, look, man, I can handle this for you. But obviously I want you to pay me. they're going to be willing to pay you because you can solve that problem for them. And if you can get them results, they're going to be more than happy to pay you more money over time, right? Now, is there any questions on that aspect?
No, that makes pretty much sense. Yeah.
Rosner, Anwar?
Oh no, I got no questions.
Ah, man, it makes sense.
All right, sweet, sweet. So we're almost done with this section. Once you see that they have some problems, right, that they need help with, educate them a little bit, right? Sell them on a better future, leveraging assets that your client has or assets that you have, right? So for me, for an example, I see that you have a problem, right? Maybe it's a little bit of confidence thing. I'm like, oh, dude, I created a piece of content on this. Check it out. You go and watch it, you're gonna trust me more because I solved a piece of that problem that you needed help with. So it's the same way. If your client that's working with you has assets like that you can use, leverage them as much as you can, right? It's like if they're trying to get certain if they're trying to help businesses grow and they have content that is valuable to the businesses that want to grow, share it with them. Be like, hey, yeah, man, here's a video you can check out on this specific problem, right? Or this specific area, right? That way you're building more trust, you're educating them a little bit, and they're going to be more willing to be able to want to hop on a call and to want to pay, right? When they hop on that call, right? So some examples, right, of educating someone is we're currently doing X for XYZ niche to solve main obstacle, right? So we're currently using a simple conversation process to help our clients quickly build attraction with women so that they can have more dates and more fun with the women they want. Another one is I'm actually currently using, evergreen VSLs to pitch our prospects without even doing anything in Messenger, right? So these are typically things that are attractive to some people, right? They're going to be like, whoa, how are you doing that? Why? Like, right? Now they're going to ask you some questions and you're going to be able to educate them more and show them why your way is better than the way they're currently doing it, right? So another example, like when you introduce a case study that proves the claim that you just made, right? So we've helped these guys, like for Anwar, I sent you pictures, right, of different guys that had different results, right? So that's like we've helped these guys quickly build their confidence, flip the way they communicate with women, and now they naturally attract the women they want. That's going to be attractive to you, and you're going to be like, whoa, okay, that's interesting. Maybe I want to work with this guy. Maybe I want to work with this business, right? Another one, if you're in the business space, it would be like, dude, I've been able to go from 0 to 6, 7K cash collected with just one appointment setter and one VSL, right? That's going to be attractive to the person that wants to get to that type of money the way that you're showing them they can get there, right? So remember, it's like you want to leverage assets to further prove that you can actually help them. This includes, but it's not limited to, client results, your own story and results, right? Links to video reviews and testimonials, images of client transformations, right? Like if you're working with someone in the fitness space and they have client transformations, like this was him a month ago, this was him 2 months ago, this was him a year ago, use that to sell people so that they will want to work with the business you're working with, right? So is there any questions on, educating prospects and creating curiosity and selling them on a better future?
No.
No, makes sense.
Anwar?
Kind of thinking about, okay, so you gotta attract the prospect about, selling to get them to the point that they wanna, saying like get help from you. So can you go a little bit more in depth about that?
About where you're getting them to want to work with you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So typically, right, you want to create as much curiosity as possible, right? And creating that curiosity comes from the I want to say knowledge that you're like, the way you're educating them, right? So say I'm speaking to a guy that really wants to know how to make money. He's tried so many different ways to make money, but he hasn't figured it out yet, or he's figured it out a little bit, but he wants to make more, right? The way I would intrigue him, the way I would build more curiosity is like, dude, I totally understand, man. Like, I've been there. You've been trying, for months now, maybe years now. Dude, I totally get it. But I think the issue is you haven't had someone that's held your hand and actually showed you how to do it, right? And then I would say something like, I could either use, so right here, right? I could use my own story and my own results, or if I have clients, I can use my clients' results. I could be like, dude, I've helped Rosner do X, Y, and Z last month just by doing and showing him this process, right? Now they're like, whoa, okay. And then I can show another one. I can be like, even myself, it took me a year to get from here to here because I had someone showing me what to do and how to do it. Now they're gonna be like, damn, maybe this guy knows what he's talking about. They might not trust me 100%, but they're gonna start to trust me a little bit more, right? So now, I mean, like, now I can ask more questions like, damn, dude, do you think I could actually help you with this? Do you think our business could help you? Do you think we can help you get the right results? Right. So now they're gonna start to open up a little bit more. They're gonna be like, man, maybe, man, maybe, like, this is what they're thinking. And then they're going to be replying to based on how you ask questions, right? And I have tons of examples in the resource section. Like, I'll show you guys examples, right? And as you guys start to practice and as you guys start to reach out to prospects that you want to work with, you're going to start to learn and understand the conversations process a lot more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sweet, sweet.
I just got a question.
Yeah, it does.
Yep.
So what about from ground zero? So very beginning of doing this. How would you show them results if you've got no results?
Gotcha. All right, sweet. So this is something I struggled with when I was first starting my business, right? So when it comes to, like, this is how you structure deals, right? This is why it's important to structure deals. If you haven't got results yet, you go on you structure a performance-based deal, right? If you have gotten results, you don't need to structure a performance-based deal, but you can if you want to, because there's a lot of money in performance-based deals, right? Basically, they don't pay you unless you get results, right? So when you have it like this, when you set it up this way, you can charge more because now it's like, damn, you know, 10 months. I don't want to say 10 months. I said 10 months. So let's say they have an offer that's worth $10,000, right? They're selling a $10,000 agency package or a coaching program, fitness program, like some huge thing, right? And this costs $10,000. And you come in and you're like, look, man, you're one of my first clients. If you no, you go at it like this. If you want to work with me and you're gonna be one of my first clients. If I don't get you results, you don't pay me, right? For the first month, if I can bring you 10 meetings, I want $1,000, right? But you don't get paid unless you bring meetings, right? So now they're gonna be like, okay, if he brings me meetings, I make money. If he doesn't, I don't have to pay him, right? So now, because you structured that performance-based deal where you're actually getting them meetings, you're booking 10 meetings. Maybe you go over the top and you're booking 20, 30, 40, 70 meetings for them a month. They're going to be like, damn, this guy is doing the work. They're going to feel like, holy shit, like, I need to pay this guy, right? And this is where the power comes back to your hand. If you can get results, so this is why this opportunity is highly leverageable, right? Say you got 2 to 3 clients that you're working for, right? And you're dedicating like 4, 6 hours to each of them, up to you, right? If you're working with 2, you dedicate 6 hours each. If you're working with 3, it depends on you, right? How many clients you're working with. And if you set this up as an agency, or if you want to just have it as a job to where you're a part of their business and they're paying you, right? It's totally up to you how you want to structure it. because now you have one client paying you $1,000 a month and you're only working 4 hours a day. You have two clients, they're both paying you the exact same amount of money. You're working 4 hours for each of them, right? So now if you're getting results for both of them, you're making money from both of them, right? So this has so many different potential, so many variable potentials that it's all up to you who you want to work for, how many people you want to work for, how much you're willing to charge, and what kind of results you can guarantee. So if you think you can guarantee 40 meetings a month and you want to charge, you're like, look, man, this is my guarantee to you, and you don't pay unless I get you results. They're going to be more than happy to pay you when you're getting them results, especially if the calls that you're booking are quality and they're actually closing those calls and making deals, right? You can be like, look, man, I want $1,000 a month, and every deal I bring you, I want $50. I want $100. Every deal that you close that you can actually charge them and they pay you, I want another $100. So now let me pull out my calculator real quick. Let me see if you guys can see this. All right, let me know if you can see the calculator.
I can see it.
I see it.
Sweet, sweet. So let's say you're charging $1,000 a month, right? And let's say you book 10 meetings a month at $100, right? So that's 1,000 plus 100 times 10, right? So you're booking that many meetings per month. So now, hold up. Let me double check the math real quick. You're booking, hold up, clear. All right. $100 for 10 meetings. Okay. Yeah. So now that's another $1,000 that you're making. Now, this is just an example to keep it basic. Like 10 meetings is pretty low standard. If you're booking 20, 30, 40, 50, 70 meetings, you know, that number is going to keep going up, right? Now, let's say on top of that deal, you're charging $100 for every deal they close, right? So now if they are closing $20,000 deals, now of course you can either charge a set fee or you can charge a commission, right? A commission would be like, I want 5% of every deal you close. I want 10% of every deal you close. If they close,
Is this where the contracts come in?
exactly. If they close a $10,000 deal, you get 10%. If they close a $15,000 deal, you get 10%. $5,000 deal, you get 10%, right? So this is all extremely, extremely important to, one, track the numbers that you're putting up. Every meeting you book, track it. And then make sure you know what date that meeting was scheduled so that you can know whether or not they actually closed it. You're like, hey, man, did you close this deal? Follow up. Always make sure. That's one thing I didn't know in the beginning. I would always book the meetings, but I never, hey, did you do this? Did you close? Did they pay you? And no, and now, you know, like maybe I missed out on money that I didn't know about, right? Maybe. So it's key to always follow up and be like, hey, did this person show up? Now, high level businesses making $1 million a month, they're gonna want you to track, right? They're not just gonna hire you and not have you tracking your numbers, because if they're making $1 million a month, they are tracking their numbers. You can't get to that level without tracking your numbers, right? And so they're gonna have, like, of course they're gonna train you on the systems they're using so that you can understand it, right? But they're gonna have tracking sheets for you to use. They're probably gonna have a CRM, which is a customer relationship management software, which is basically how many people did you talk to today? 200. Okay. How many of them booked meetings? 50 of them booked a meeting, right? So you're basically tracking your numbers so that every month, you know, everything you track, you're gonna get better results. If you're tracking how many times you go to the gym, you're like, I went today. Like your mind is gonna be like, I don't want to stop going, because you've been tracking it every single day, right? On a tracking sheet, right? You write it down and you're actually looking at it. I went Monday, I went Tuesday, I went, like, everything you track, just like the guys who track what they eat. If you're tracking what you eat, if you're tracking how much water you're drinking, you're gonna drink more. You're gonna drink an amount that's gonna make sure you're staying healthy, right? Everything you track, you will succeed at, especially when it comes to money, right? When it comes to managing money, like, this was a problem that I had for the longest, managing my money, right? Because bro, when I was 17, I was roofing for like $60 an hour. And I was spending money crazy because I was making a lot of money at 17. So I was just like, okay, it's just money, right? So I was just always, money's coming in my account. I'm buying a new phone. I broke the phone the same week. I bought another one. I broke it again. I bought another one, right? So it's like tracking is so important, right? So if you're tracking the money that's going in and out of your account every single day, you're going to end up having more money because in your mind, you're going to be like, damn, it's only 500. It's only 1,000. So now you're like, okay, right? So one thing, a big influencer in the business space, Alex Hormozy, dude made like he went from 0 to $100 million in 4 years, from the age of 24 to 28, right? And he said the number one thing that helped him get to that was he tracked his money every day from his bank account, right? Every morning he woke up, he looked at his bank account. When it was at 0, he said that shit pissed him off, right? He couldn't help, he hated seeing that number 0, right? And so that was a motivation for him to, he never wanted to be broke again. He's like, I didn't want to, I didn't want the Lamborghinis, I didn't want the nice stuff. I just never wanted to be broke again. And he's like, every day I looked at my bank account, it pushed me to, damn, I only have 0 in my bank account. Damn, I only have $20. I can't, right? So it forced him to go out there and work and make the money that he wanted to make. And now what? Dude's making 85 million a year right now. And he's like 32 years old, right? So it's like, it's possible, but it's up to you to make it happen, right? So let's bring it back to the outbound prospecting. Is there any more questions on this section?
Yeah, I think it makes sense a lot more now. Thank you.
Sweet, sweet.
Oh, man,
Browser,
that makes sense, man.
Yeah, it makes sense.
bet. All right, the last two sections for this piece is, you're off. This is really simple: offering a call and confirming that they booked the call, and then obviously you're following up, right? So it's important to remember that pitching the offer is not necessary for the message, right? So remember, you're pitching the call, not the offer. Oh, I help businesses scale from 50 to 100K a month. That's the offer, right? It's not your job to pitch that. You're not trying to pitch the fact that the business you're working for is going to help them do 100K a month, right? When you get into this online space and you start to see all these different types of businesses, dude, it goes up and up and up. There's people helping people go from 0 to 100K, 50 to 100K, 100K to a million. It gets crazy. But your job is to book the call. You want to pitch the call, not the offer, right? The person who's pitching the offer is the person taking the call, right? So if you learn how to take the calls, you can also leverage that and say, look, man, I can book you meetings and I can take the calls, right? So that's another skill, right? Booking meetings is one skill. Taking a sales call is a whole nother skill, right? And I can add that if it's going to help you guys. So there's a few things that you want to be true before pitching them a call, right? So one, the prospect has positively engaged with you, right? If they aren't aligned or well-mannered, they won't be, they likely won't be, positive or aligned when they're on the call, right? You applied leverage, right? So you mentioned or told them that you or the business have great success in helping people lose unwanted weight, right? Say you're working in the fitness space, right? So this is a good mindset to have for the lead ahead of the call. That also secures control in the chat, right? This is someone, like, another point is, this person that you're speaking to is someone you believe that the business can actually work with and they can actually help them. So you don't want to just pitch anyone, because if you're pitching anyone, then if anyone is just showing up to the call, they don't even want what the business is offering. So they're not making money, because when they say, oh, it's going to cost 1,000, it's going to cost 5,000, they're like, okay, they're not going to work with them, right? Because they don't need it. So you want to make sure it's someone that actually needs or wants what you're pitching, right? So if all these things are true, there's a much higher chance that they're actually going to show up to the sales call. So after they've shown curiosity, you can ask, hey, so are you free for a 15-minute chat this week where I can show you, a personalized walkthrough of our process and how you can implement it? They can say yes, they can say no, right? So after they say yes, ask for permission to send them a booking link. All right, cool. They say yes. All right. Is it cool if I send you a booking link? They say yes. All right, cool. Here's what I'm thinking. Let's run through the strategy. Like, these are just examples, right? Cool. Let's run through the strategy live. That way, you can ask any question. Remember, you're not taking the call. Someone else is. right? Unless you're the business owner. If you're the business owner, you're also booking a call. They're taking the call with you, right? But you're speaking from the perspective of someone else, right? So it's always good to keep that in mind. If you're a client, it's even better to keep that in mind if you're the business owner, if you're launching this as your offer, right? Even this, right? You can take away this training. You can start your own program on top of this, right? Once you've mastered the skill just enough, you can also sell this to other people, right? So that's just an idea to keep in the back of your head, right? Then once you pitch the call, confirm that they found a time that works for them by following up, right? So if your client has a video that they like their prospect to watch before calls, right? You can say something like, dude, in the meantime, so they booked a call for next, say, for Tuesday. Like, dude, in the meantime, here's a video on getting, women to chase you, right? Take a look ahead of our call. We will go into more detail on the call, but if you have any more questions, I'm happy to cover that too, right? Another one is, it's also very important to track your numbers. Like I said this before, so I won't say it again. But you want to reverse engineer it, right? So let's say you tracked your last 200 conversations, 120 people answered you, and you pitched 25 of them, and then you got 6 calls. Now you would average a call for every 34 people that you talk to, right? So so if those were your numbers, every 30, that, okay, this is my 34th person. This is my 10th person, right? It helps you get in the brain where it's like, all right, I just need to talk to 34 people to book a call. I just need to talk to 68 people to book 2 calls, right? So it's a numbers game, but it's the right numbers, right? You want to make sure you are reaching out to the right people and you're actually, you're counting and you're checking yourself, right? So last piece for this section is objection handling, right? This is like, to keep it simple, it's the first word that comes to mind is basically no, right? An objection is a way of saying no without saying no. It's like, not right now. Maybe next week. No, I don't think I need this, right? That's an objection. It's a way of saying no without saying no, right? So this is what typically how you want to reply when people give you a type of no, right? Some people can be extremely rude, right? They can be like, go away. Don't talk to me, right? I'm not interested, right? These types of answers, be aware that people will give you that type of answer, but it's your job to remove yourself from that situation in terms of it's just a person. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe some shit happened in their life, right? So don't take it personally, right? Don't take it personally for them saying, go away, right? Never take that type of stuff personally because you don't know what's the reason for them to answer that way, right? So common types of objections is a lack of need. They don't really need it. So they're just gonna give you something like, like I don't really need this right now, right? So you want to make sure they actually need what you're selling, right? You want to sell the result, not the process, right? Dude, this is how, like, we're gonna help you get a girlfriend. We're gonna help you make more money, right? You're selling the end result. You're not really selling how you're gonna get them there, right? Because if you tell them like, oh, dude, it's gonna take a shit ton of work. You're gonna have to go to the gym every day. You're gonna have to do this and that. They're gonna be like, damn, that's a lot of work. But if you're like, dude, you want to sell the vacation. You're like, dude, remember, like in 6 months, you're gonna have the dream body. You're gonna have the hot girlfriend. You're gonna have the money. You're like, damn, yeah, in 6 months, I'm gonna have that. So now they're more than likely to be like, yeah, I actually want to hop on the call. I actually want to work with you, right? Versus, dude, you're gonna be going to the gym every single day. You're gonna be like putting 8, 9, 12 hours of work every single day. They're gonna be like, damn, I'm not so sure, right? Because now they're thinking about the amount of work, not the end result, right? And if you look at all the greats, not LeBron, Ronaldo, Messi, Jordan, Kobe, the number one thing they always say is, I focused on the end result, right? Jordan said, you want to crave the end result so bad that the work you need to put in is irrelevant, right? So when you get someone to crave that end result, this is also from the book Relentless, right? When you crave the end result so much, you don't care about the amount of work you want to do. That's why Hormozy made 100 million in 4 years, and he was 24, right? Now think about it, we're way younger, right? For him to get to there is because he craved the end result. For him, it wasn't 100 million. For him, it was, he never wanted to be broke again, right? Because he was so, like, I think he was living dude was literally sleeping on the gym floor, right? So there's situations that you get in where you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do the work and get it done, right? And that's really the type of mindset you need to get into. It's like you want the money so bad, or you want the lifestyle so bad that you don't care about the amount of work you need to do, right? Because you're gonna achieve it. Like Kobe, he won one ring, he puts two fingers up for the next one. He wants two, he puts three because he wants the next one. He's always craving the next one, right? Because he knows that that's the only way he's going to continue to achieve every single ring, right? Jordan did the same thing. He won four, he put up a fifth finger. He held the trophy or whatever, and he would put up more than what he had because he was always thinking about what's next. How can I get to the next goal? How can I get to the next $1 million, the next 10 million, the next 100 million, right? It's always craving the end result so that you can actually, the work is irrelevant, right? If you need to hit the gym 4 times a day, you're not going to think about hitting the gym 4 times a day. You just want to be shredded, right? That's the goal. So when you're craving the end result, you're more than willing to do the work, right? So another one is urgency, right? They don't need it right now. They want it, but they don't need it right now, right? So it's key to factor that in. Another one is they don't really trust you, right? If they don't trust you, they're gonna be like, I need to think about it. Not right now. It's not because they need to think about it, they just don't trust you that much, right? Another one is the product or offer, right? They don't need, like, this product is not as good as what your competitor is offering, right? So, or this sounds a little complicated, right? So they have a problem with what you're trying to sell them. So then it's just you break it down, right? And you break it down by describing the features and stuff like that. You use testimonials. Testimonials are basically reviews. Like, yeah, man, this guy went into the program and he became this person, right? He became shredded, or he got his dream girlfriend, or now he's making $5,000, $10,000 a month, right? So it's these types of situations based on who you're working with. You want to make sure they have testimonials that you can leverage to help them get more clients, right? Another thing is lack of authority. They don't trust that, say you're using your person's profile, they don't trust that you are who you say you are, right? If you say you can help them make $100,000, but your profile isn't really giving proof that, one, you know what you're talking about, two, you look like someone who can actually help them. Now, sometimes, there's rich people that live really simple lives, right? So it depends, but typically you want to make sure the profile is up to standard, right? Of what they're trying to sell. It's like if it's a dude that's trying to sell you fitness coaching, but they look like they're fat, right? Or you see on their profile, they're not what they're trying to sell you, is basically what I'm trying to say, right? And then they're content, right? They're happy being where they are. They don't want more, right? So that's typically someone who, maybe maybe they look good enough. They don't need to become shredded, or maybe they're making decent sums of money. They don't want to make more. They're like, I'm comfortable, right? So that's another reason why someone would say no, right? And then lastly, I talked about it earlier, but it's aggressive, right? They're like, go away. No, I don't want to talk to you, right? There's plenty of reasons why they could say that. Don't take it personally. Just move on to the next person, right? And yeah, that's it for this section. Basically understanding it. Right here is just gonna give you a quick breakdown. Um, Step one, you want to start a conversation, build social context instantly, right? Step two, qualify and find inefficiencies, right? Step three, educate and share proof. Step four, offer a call and confirm the booking, right? That's really it. And then follow up with them. After you've sent them that booking link and they didn't say they booked, follow up maybe 3 or 6 hours later. Hey, man, did you get a chance to book the call? Did you find a time that worked for you? They answer, great. They don't, wait another 6 hours or next day, right? So that's typically it for today. Like, I know it's a long one, but helping you guys understand it is the main factor. Now, the next couple of days, we can actually start to work on this and help you guys actually build the skill. So, is there any question on this aspect?
Not for me.
No.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, guys. There was a last slide that I was gonna go over, but I can go over it tomorrow. Is basically how you want to approach it. But again, I can just go over it tomorrow. So I hope the recording didn't get messed up when I was lagging in the beginning. So I'll put the recording
Should be fine.
yeah, I'll put it inside there for you guys in the you'll see the Discord. I'll give you a quick overview of the Discord right now. That way you guys understand what each section is for. I made it today, so I still gotta like, make it sexier, I guess. So yeah. So community,
Basic.
right? This is where we're gonna talk, right? Where everybody's gonna talk, where we're gonna have our conversations. Like, you need help with stuff like that. Wins channel is when you have a win to share, right? You got a client, you booked a meeting, whatever the win is, no matter how small, right? The number one thing I practiced was always, like, no matter how small a win is, it's still a win, right? And when you value those small wins, the big ones are gonna matter even more. They're gonna feel more, you're gonna appreciate the bigger wins a lot more, right? So if you book a meeting, cool. You book 10 meetings, great. Whatever it is, you share the win in that channel, right? Even if it's not related to this, right? You can still share it in that channel, right? That's the channel to share your wins. Resources is where you're going to see all the resources. I'm going to put this recording link. The recording is going to be in this one, coaching call recordings, but the resources is going to be here, right? It's going to be like the links to what we just went over. The Google Slides links are going to be here. Literally every piece of resource that I create for you guys to make your job easier, it's going to be in here, right? And then one-on-one support is I'm going to have a individual chat with each one of you, right? So Anwar is going to have a separate one only he can see. George, you're gonna have one only you can see. Rosner, you're gonna have one only you can see. That way, if it's something specific and you don't want to ask it in the community is basically you ask and everybody can give you feedback. But when it's just one-on-one, I'm the one giving you feedback. Or when I hire another coach, it's gonna be me and that coach giving you feedback, right? So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, so that's typically it for the Discord, and that's typically it for the community. And yeah, the community is gonna grow. I had another person who was supposed to be on the call, but his time zone is like really, really weird. Like, George, you're in the UK, I think, right? England or
Yeah,
UK?
yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. Anwar, you're in the Netherlands, right? Around there. Yeah. So, and you're both out of the World Cup, no hard feelings. Argentina's Argent
No.
Argentina's still there.
Cup
Hey,
too. I still
hey.
got my second home country in it. You feel
Oh
me?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got Morocco in this
Morocco,
bitch. You feel
Morocco.
me?
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. And then Rosner, you're in Florida. So,
Mm.
we're all in different time zones. And Leroy, he's actually one of my successful clients that did this in the past. Now, he's 14, right? And he's moved on and he has his own agency now, right? So the potential is huge, but he's from Africa, right?
14.
Exactly. 14, right? And he's
Crazy.
from, I forget which part of Africa, but he's in Africa. And I think it's like a really weird time zone. It's similar to Anwar's time zone, I think, but he's 14, right? And that's what's crazy to me, right? So for him, now he has his own agency, and I'm helping him grow that agency, right? So you might see him on some of the calls when he's able to show up, but there's huge, huge, huge potential if you take this seriously and you put the work in, right? You're always going to be rewarded for hard work, right? And the reward for your hard work is money, right? And everything you desire, right? A lot of people say money is evil, but money just makes you more of who you are, right?
Yeah.
Deadass. Like, you become more of who
Money
you are when you make
amplifies.
money. Exactly. Exactly. So look, that's it for this call. I don't know if there's any last questions on anything, whether it's like, the community is here because I want to surround you guys with like-minded people, people that actually want to win, people that want more out of life, people that don't just want to settle for average, right? And Leroy,
Yeah.
he's
Facts.
14, right? So he's in the community too. He's gonna be able to help you guys, literally answer questions. And you guys, I want to answer each other's questions too. Like, if you ask a question and you think you can answer, feel free to answer it, right? And one thing that I have in my own company is, like, don't be afraid to ask the stupid question, because just because you think it's stupid, somebody else probably doesn't think it's stupid. Somebody else probably has that same exact question, but they're afraid to ask it, right? So there's no stupid questions. Even if it's, how do I send a message, right? Whatever the question is, feel free to ask it. And I'm always in there looking to help you guys. So that's it for day one. See you guys tomorrow for day two. I know it's pretty late for some of you. So yeah, that's it.
All right.
I'm
guys.
gonna cook.
man.
Yeah, I gotta
Hey,
cook,
yo.
man.
All right, bet.
I just want to stay positive, man. Let's get to this shit. I'm looking forward to
Let's
work with you, man.
go.
Yep.
Yes,
Bet.
sir, man.
All right,
Alright,
guys.
looking forward to it. Might be a bit difficult on Wednesday, but I think Tuesday
Yeah.
I'm
Take care, yo.
sorted. Alright.
Bet. All right, bet.
Yeah.